Can I ask you about some of the things that you've brought in? As you say, you started in December. We've seen apologies, or you might want to call them acknowledgements in your language, to clubs for errors that are being made. Do you think that is are you still convinced that is the right approach? Once you start acknowledging, when do you actually stop?
Yeah, I mean, again, we made a commitment at the start of this that we'd have a lot of dialogue.
Arsenal's trip to Stamford Bridge was supposed to be a defining moment in their title push, but instead it turned into yet another storm of controversy, fury, and finger-pointing as VAR decisions dominated the headlines. The 2-2 draw with Chelsea will be remembered less for the football and more for the sheer chaos surrounding the officiating, with former Arsenal legend Thierry Henry publicly venting his frustration, fans raging across social media, and refereeing chief Webb once again dragged into the spotlight. The match itself was a pulsating encounter, full of energy, intensity, and dramatic swings. Arsenal started brightly, moving the ball with purpose and threatening Chelsea's back line, but the first major twist came when VAR intervened to award Chelsea a contentious penalty. Replays showed minimal contact between William Saliba and Raheem Sterling, yet referee Simon Hooper was advised to visit the pitch side monitor. After a brief look, he pointed to the spot, prompting immediate uproar from Arsenal supporters. Chelsea converted, taking the lead in a moment that shifted both momentum and emotion inside the stadium. Arsenal's players looked visibly rattled, and Chelsea took advantage by doubling their lead minutes later through a rapid counter-attack. At that point, the visitors seemed to be collapsing under the weight of frustration and disbelief. But as they have done all season, Mikel Arteta's side fought back. A brilliant long-range strike from Declan Rice halved the deficit, and suddenly the Gunners had belief again. The equaliser came late, after relentless pressure, when Bukayo Saka's teasing cross found Leandro Trossard, who tapped home to send the away fans into wild celebrations. But instead of focusing on Arsenal's spirit, the football world exploded over the officiating. Thierry Henry, normally calm and measured in studio analysis, let loose in a rare emotional outburst. He questioned how such a soft penalty could be given in a match of this magnitude, calling the decision embarrassing and a joke that changes games. Henry emphasized that Arsenal had been on the receiving end of numerous questionable decisions this season and insisted that enough was enough. His comments spread rapidly across social platforms, sparking heated debate between supporters, pundits, and former referees. Webb, who has already faced intense criticism over VAR inconsistencies, found himself once again in the center of a storm. Fans demanded explanations, pointing to several angles that suggested Sterling initiated the contact rather than Saliba. Many Arsenal supporters insisted that VAR was becoming a weekly obstacle to their team's momentum, with some claiming decisions like this were stealing points from their title challenge. The outrage was so widespread that VAR out and Webb out trended for hours after the final whistle. What added fuel to the fire was another controversial moment late in the match. Arsenal believed they should have had a penalty of their own when Martin Ødegaard appeared to be clipped inside the box. Despite strong protests from players and Arteta, VAR chose not to intervene. The lack of review only intensified accusations of inconsistency, with supporters baffled at how one soft incident was deemed worthy of a penalty while another was dismissed without a second glance. Arteta, speaking after the match, tried to remain composed but couldn't hide his frustration. He praised his team's character for recovering from 2 goals down, but he also made it clear that decisions of this nature were having a major impact on results. He reiterated his belief that VAR should bring clarity and fairness, not confusion and controversy. Chelsea, for their part, insisted the penalty was justified and argued that the match was filled with physical challenges on both sides. Their manager acknowledged Arsenal's strong comeback but felt his team had done enough to win. Still, even among neutral fans, there was a strong consensus that the officiating overshadowed what could have been a classic Premier League encounter. The draw leaves Arsenal feeling both proud and aggrieved, proud of their resilience but furious that crucial decisions once again dominated the storyline. As the Premier League title race intensifies, every point matters, and matches like this raise bigger questions about VAR's role in shaping results. For many Arsenal fans, this game wasn't just about dropped points but about a growing pattern that threatens to derail their ambitions. In the days to come, there will be debates, statements, and perhaps even apologies, but the feeling of injustice will linger. Arsenal fought hard, came back swinging, and left Stamford Bridge with a point, but the overwhelming sentiment among fans and pundits is that VAR took more from them than Chelsea ever could.